What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about an interesting update about COD 2023, Treyarch's next title, Activision responding with a major lawsuit to some clowns, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And I do have a really cool Black Ops Cold War video planned for tomorrow, something that you definitely didn't expect, and a special documentary-style video in the works for another Treyarch game. Really excited to share that with you guys very soon. You know, I'll always cover Vanguard for those still interested, but 2022 will definitely be a year where I post even more original content that so far you guys seem to be enjoying, which means the world to me. So we'll be changing it up a little bit, but of course still sticking with Call of Duty. Now I also want to bring up real quickly, as confirmed today, that the next Activision investors phone call will be February 3rd. I'll be live with that phone call with the reaction here on the channel, probably a couple of hours before it even starts. So we'll do a bit of a countdown, do some open lobbies, and listen to the phone call with you guys that are tuned in out there. So hopefully we get some spicier information about what the future of the franchise does hold during that call. Now it's also confirmed by Charlie Intel, as they put out on Twitter, that there's 99 QA testers across Activision currently on strike, and that includes the Raven QA team that works on Warzone. So that's definitely not a good look for the new year, at least in my opinion. And look, I know certain things are funded from completely different departments, but when they're sending out mugs, suitcases, or better yet, stream decks and gaming equipment to people who already do this full time and use that equipment for a living, it makes you wonder why that money couldn't have been used to pay people's checks or Christmas bonuses, or to hire more people that are definitely needed right now to work on some major game-breaking bugs that are affecting Vanguard, Warzone, which is sad because, I mean, we just got the launch of Caldera and the map isn't doing well right now. And it's even affecting other games like Modern Warfare 2019, which is in an unplayable state. Cold War is seeing new bugs every now and again as well because of the Vanguard integration. So there's also a tweet that was put out by gaming scooper The Ghost of Hope, who said that he heard that they're outsourcing QA to Activision Shanghai and started that back in early December. So that's not good. If people aren't local working on something, it's okay to outsource certain departments, certain positions whenever that's needed, but it's not needed really when you have a lot of people who are on strike ready to work that want to work but are being told they're being let go. So, you know, it's almost like they're cutting corners, outsourcing to people who may cost less to work, and you guys know what's going on here. It's very obvious, and it's just really sad to think about that. That is the current state of the franchise when it shouldn't be, right? We should be seeing a new era. You know, we're on the dawn of a new wave for the Call of Duty franchise, thanks to Warzone, and thanks to, you know, certain elements going free to play. We should be seeing, you know, them thriving more than ever, which they are financially, which should mean they're hiring more people than ever to keep everything afloat. And it just sucks that that's not the case right now. But QA might not be the only department that's currently lacking, because it seems like communication with people that run the marketing side of things for Call of Duty are also out of whack a little bit with, I guess, what the current plan is. Since yesterday we got a tweet that mentioned that day 20 of the Festive Fervor event was live for Warzone, being called Fruitcake, and everybody knows there were about 20 days where they would change something about Warzone every single day, and it was supposed to increase replayability for a map that currently doesn't function properly, so that already just wasn't a good idea. But Festive Fervor obviously wasn't successful. People weren't happy with Krampus or how the event broke different elements of the game, and all of a sudden a follow-up tweet goes out after they deleted their day 20 tweet saying that Festive Fervor had ended, and that made sense considering the in-game timer had listed Festive Fervor to end as of yesterday, but for some reason there was still, I guess, a 20th day for the event for Warzone Pacific that was still scheduled. Take all that down, and luckily everything is now over when it comes to the Christmas event. But I saw a couple of weird reports that Krampus apparently is still popping up in both multiplayer and Warzone every now and again. Not sure how that's happening, but I'm really not surprised considering how little QA they have left working on the game. Now, the next in-game event with challenges and probably a free blueprint will likely become available during the start of Season 2. We saw one every single season for Black Ops Cold War last year, and the same will probably happen for Vanguard. But hopefully the next update and the next in-game challenge event is well tested and doesn't feature anything too game-breaking like we just saw with Festive Fervor. But as you guys probably noticed, there isn't a new patch live in Vanguard just yet. In a previous video, I did cover the fact that, yeah, Season 1 Reloaded is likely just around the corner, probably a good week away, and they mentioned a couple of things they're currently looking at and hope to have fixed soon, but there isn't any major patch that I would expect for Vanguard until the mid-season update. However, there is a small update that went live for Warzone, as you guys probably missed. The fire sale event will last for the entire duration of the circle it starts with. They also fixed collision issues with various elements across Caldera, also fixed an issue causing loadout drops to spawn weirdly, and they even fixed an issue with invisible tier 100 skins popping popping up all over the map, right? You would see people out there running the final battle pass skin that you get at tier 100 and being invisible at long ranges, and that was completely unacceptable, just massively game breaking to a point where people out there didn't even want to play Caldera because of that issue. Luckily that's fixed, but looking at the replies to that tweet about this patch, people still aren't too happy, but at least it's a start that a couple of things got ironed out within a couple of days of them getting back into the office. And like I said about Vanguard, I wouldn't expect a major update for Warzone either until Season 1 Reloaded, which we talked more about in depth in terms of what's going to be released in that update in my previous video here on the channel. We also have a really cool tweet from Gaming Scooper, the Ghost of Hope, and you guys know how I feel about any Gaming Scooper online. Every now and again they'll post something that is legit, they'll post something that makes a lot of sense, and other times they may get things wrong, right? They either make things up for clout, or, you know, they get fed bad information from who used to be a reliable source of theirs, and sometimes their sources do trust me, right? We've seen it all with the Call of Duty community, you know how I feel about that. But he went ahead and put out a tweet saying that COD 2023, Treyarch's next game, will be taking elements from both Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. More specifically, we're going to be seeing gunsmith, operators, a near future setting, the IW 8.0 engine, which is the same engine that Modern Warfare, Warzone, and Vanguard use, as well as the fact that the game will be boots on the ground. So we essentially knew most of that, and most of that, I guess you could say, was predicted a little while ago. It just makes sense. I mean, I said this in my recent video where we talked about Treyarch's next game. I definitely think Activision has a lot of interest in having every Call of Duty moving forward being on the same engine just to ensure a smooth Warzone integration. And I know Warzone Pacific with Caldera is the exact opposite of smooth. It's not stable, but that's for a number of reasons dealing with QA and lack of time, COVID, whatever the case is, not necessarily the engine. And, you know, I actually prefer Black Ops Cold War over both MW and Vanguard, but I can definitely see them wanting to have all games have a real interconnected feel so that it doesn't feel too different playing, you know, the COD multiplayer and then hopping right onto Warzone, then to zombies. If you play Cold War full time and then just hop into a game of Warzone, things do feel and look a lot different. I think we're all well aware of that, but don't forget that engine doesn't mean gameplay. The game doesn't have to feel exactly the same as Modern Warfare as long as the dev team has enough time to polish certain areas of the game and incorporate innovation that previous titles didn't have. They didn't have much time to make Vanguard, so why do you think that game is almost a direct mirror of Modern Warfare 2019? That's just the way things go, but the fact that he mentioned near future setting almost, I guess you could say, debunks the possibility of seeing a 90s sequel to Black Ops Cold War. You know, there still is a lot of story they can tell in between the events of Season 6 and that outro cutscene with the opening events of Black Ops 2, if Black Ops 2 is even canon, whereas Forsaken introduces us to a new plot going on 5 years after the events of the map itself. So, you know, a 90s sequel could work, and maybe zombies will take place in the 90s, but maybe the campaign just won't, and it could even take place after Black Ops 2 for all we know, like we talked about in a previous video. Lots of possibilities with that, but you guys are probably wondering, right, what's going on with the exclusivity for upcoming CODs, right? Will it be exclusive to next-gen hardware, or what is now current-gen hardware, PS5, Xbox Series X and S? What's going to happen with that? And I think, if I had to be honest with you, I wouldn't expect that to happen until more consoles are available, right? Scalpers made that a living hell. The pandemic led to a shortage in certain parts, so consoles aren't being shipped out as often as they should be. But maybe that issue will be resolved, or all the issues I should say, by Treyarch's next game. And I think if anything, a Treyarch game should be the one that kind of says goodbye to last gen. We saw that before with, you know, previous games in the past. We know that Black Ops 3 wasn't exclusive to PS4 and Xbox One, but a different dev team entirely made a version for PS3 and Xbox 360. So maybe it's something similar with COD 2023 where, you know, the full native version is on PS5 and Xbox Series X, but then a different dev team comes out of nowhere to maybe make a slightly different version for PS4 and Xbox One that doesn't contain everything that the next-gen version has. Now, it's silly that we're still waiting for an enhancement to the Modern Warfare client on PlayStation 5. We probably won't even get one, but because of that, we're not going to be seeing, you know, Warzone and updates moving forward taking full advantage of the power of the PS5. And, you know, Sony recently announced the PSVR 2, which a release date isn't yet available, but they released specifications for it, so clearly they're moving forward with new hardware. And I wouldn't be shocked if COD doesn't ditch PS4 until a PS5 Pro comes out in a couple years, and then that's more available for fans worldwide. Maybe that's what's going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and see what the future of COD exclusivity looks like for our line of consoles. But now when it comes to the big story here, a lot of members of the press did break the news last night that Activision is taking legal action against Engine Owing who has gone ahead and continued selling hacks for Warzone despite the release of the Ricochet anti-cheat. Now, before we get into Ricochet, let's go through just the information about the lawsuit first. The lawsuit confirms that Activision has banned hundreds of thousands of players in 2021, and that tens of thousands of players have used engine owning. And you can bet your ass they're going to be suing a lot of other websites as well that are still selling hacks. Additionally, in the lawsuit against engine owning, Activision is asking for the site to provide the company with all revenue made from cheat sales in the US plus Award Act. Activision also says that they have evidence engine owning is attempting to create cheats for Overwatch and is asking the court to put a stop to their efforts to damage owned IP any further. They also stated that the cheats have caused millions of dollars in damages and they will provide proof in court. Activision also lists the names of the alleged owners of the site based out of Germany. Now, if we do some math here, and thanks to Chain Feeds for tweeting out about this information, there's about 331,060 people who bought cheats over on engine owning, and that's a lot. We're going to get to that in a second. Activision confirmed that they're going to charge $2,500 for each law violation, meaning that for each person that bought something on engine owning, they're going to charge engine owning $2,500 per person. If you do the math there, that's nearly $1 billion, $827 million, and that's still give or take, right? There could be more people we don't even know about based on, lack of data or not up-to-date information here. So nearly $1 billion engine owning will have to pay back to Activision for the damages they caused, right? Another tweet came out saying that cheat provider Cynical Software announced in their public telegram that they're immediately stopping the sales of COD-related hacks and cheats as they do not want to get sued. That's inevitable anyway, since even if a site got away for a year selling hacks and never got in trouble, never came across Activision legally or anything, they're gonna get caught, they're gonna get sued eventually, it's all gonna catch up to them, and I think everybody's aware of that. But I think what I want to bring up real quickly is, how did people go to bed happy at night, right? Not even just the cheaters themselves, but the people that were selling these cheats. How did you go to bed happy at night knowing that you were just causing severe damage to the community every single day you sold cheats? Creating issues where there almost weren't any, because for all I know, yeah, people would have figured out how to cheat and you would have saw cheaters every now and again, but when these sites started profiting off selling so many damn cheats with every single update, it just damaged the community further and further, to the point where we have to have actual marketing for a goddamn anti-cheat, right? Having Ricochet on a roadmap, or Ricochet being praised and marketed, it's silly that we have to even get to that, right? There should never have been a problem with cheating to begin with, but it's the gaming community, right? What are you gonna do? 300,000+ people. I mean, it could even been more than that, like I said, but that's a lot of damn people who said, you know what? We're just gonna go cheat. We're just gonna start using walls and aimbot and God mode. It just blows my mind that those are the kind of people that plague the Warzone community. It's ridiculous. But I think a really good tweet that I saw earlier was from Scuba over on Twitter, right? One of the legends behind the Greyhound software, which people out there use to rip models, do custom zombies experiences, make 3D art. He's one of the founders behind that program, and he put out a tweet saying, "Lol, another lobby where someone is just aimbotting with constant headshots and pre-firing every corner. But God forbid, use Greyhound to make renders or make custom zombie mods. That is not tolerated." And yeah, it's obviously satire, because it's ridiculous. People out there who might not even play Warzone, who never had even cheated in Warzone, right, are going to be banned from using a program to make something innocent like a custom zombies map or a thumbnail, or a nice piece with a render. They'll be banned for that instantly, but as of right now, it's being said Ricochet is live everywhere. Although I've seen personally a couple of lobbies where there were some cheaters, and I know people have come back saying, oh, well, if people are still cheating even with Ricochet, they're just going to get banned instantly after another match or something. And still, the Ricochet is not preventing them from cheating to begin with. It'll just detect them faster. I understand that completely, and yeah, at least Ricochet is doing its part, and hopefully it's working for the most part, and maybe banning people after no more than one game of cheating. It sucks that artists are being held to the same standard as if they were a cheater. They're on the same level as a typical Warzone cheater, when we know they're really not. But that's one of those things where, look, these cheaters did not realize the consequence to their actions, and how it's going to be affecting people that had nothing to do with maybe even Warzone altogether, and definitely not cheating either. So it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, that's just another day in the life of the Call of Duty community, right? But last and definitely not least, kind of on topic with anti-cheat and Ricochet, I just find it really weird that Black Ops Cold War, since that game wasn't on the Modern Warfare engine, it was on its own, didn't have cheating issues like this. But because Vanguard is on the Modern Warfare engine, which, FYI, Warzone is also on, there were cheats that I was seeing in a lot of Vanguard multiplayer lobbies ever since the beta. The anti-cheat was already compromised before the game even came out because it's on the same engine as Warzone. So, you know, maybe there is a way for the game to be on the same engine, but then for security to be enhanced a bit more. And this is all before the launch of Ricochet, of course. But how is it that in Cold War MP, I don't think I ever saw someone cheating in a single game, but from the Vanguard beta, they were everywhere. And there's no coincidence that, yeah, Vanguard is built exactly like Modern Warfare, and like you said, Warzone as well. So, looking at COD 2023, which is also going to be on IW8's engine, right? That's the Modern Warfare one. I'm curious if Ricochet by then will be even stronger, and it will be a lot more enhanced to where it prevents seeing something as silly as a hacker during a beta, because that's ridiculous. And it's just another item on my laundry list of why I'm not a huge fan of the Modern Warfare engine, right? Not only from the way the game feels and looks and the way the UI is built, but when it comes to cheating as well. It seems like it's easier to get through on Modern Warfare titles, including Vanguard, but not a Call of Duty from Treyarch. It's just weird to talk about, but that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this interesting update regarding COD 2023 from gaming scooper Ghost of Hope? Do you think it's legit, and do you think we're going to be seeing a bit of a blend between Black Ops 2 and 3? That's kind of what Black Ops 4 already is anyway, but I guess to go even further than that by using the Modern Warfare engine. And also, what are your thoughts on Activision absolutely suing engine owing into the ground for over $1 billion? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.